Pirates, for the most part, aren't typically thought of as trustworthy. It should come as no surprise that a film franchise featuring scallywags and scoundrels and is named after a theme park ride would try to be sneaky with its audience. While reboots, remakes, and wacky adaptations are common now, the success of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies changed everything. From the moment that Johnny Depp made his dramatically silly entrance, audiences knew that they were in for something special. They just didn't know the whole truth. Along with Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley, the first film launched a tentpole franchise that proved to be so popular, the film characters were incorporated into the theme park rides. But not everything is gold doubloons and jars of dirt. There be secrets to be found, you scurvy knave, so sit back and watch as we dig up the treasure trove of truth cannonballs.
You're not making any sense at all.
Arr, mateys. Be sure to subscribe to CBR's channel. If you don't, you might as well walk the plank, as you'll be missing out on a treasure trove of videos. Johnny Depp was the first choice. Captain Jack Sparrow is one of the more memorable movie characters created by Disney, and probably their most popular pirate. Apologies to the hardcore Captain Hook fans.
What would the world be like without Captain Hook?
Johnny Depp's performance as the seafaring scoundrel with a heart is so popular, his character was added to the Disney theme park attraction the movies were based on. Throughout the 5 Pirates of the Caribbean films, Depp has gone all in with his off-kilter but entertaining character, despite Disney bosses not originally loving his rendition. Bigwigs from the Mouse House proclaimed Depp was ruining the movie by basing his role on a combination of Keith Richards and Warner Brothers' classic cartoon character Pepe Le Pew. Ironically, Sparrow was described as a cross between fellow Looney Tune, Bugs Bunny, and Groucho Marx. Throughout filming, I'm sure they often regretted not taking the screenwriter's first choice. The role of Captain Jack Sparrow was originally written for Hugh Jackman. They even gave their pirate the surname of Jack as an ode to the leading man they truly wanted.
It's like a 3 shillings. And we forget the name.
Jackman wasn't very well known outside Australia, so Disney cast the more popular Depp. Apparently it worked out, as Depp has made Disney billions and Jackman ended up as Wolverine. Snick!
Is the jar of dirt going to help?
The jar of dirt scene was in the script. Screenwriters don't always get enough credit. Their imaginations create the characters fans love. Their fingers hammering away on a keyboard, birthing to life the worlds people become enamored with. Once in a while, they get too much, winning awards for films where the director and actor essentially rewrite the script on set. The best movies find a balance between the two. Sometimes Johnny Depp just does his thing and you hope for the best. Such is the case in the Jar of Dirt ditty that Depp sings during Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest.
I got a jar of dirt, and guess what's inside it?
During the movie, Jack Sparrow is given a giant jar of, well, dirt to protect himself from Davy Jones. Thinking the jar holds power over Jones, Sparrow holds it high above his head, taunting the cursed captain and his crew, singing a few lines about the supposedly magic jar, none of which was in the script. The jar existed, but wasn't as large a plot point till Depp started heaving it around, apparently thinking he was in a musical. Advice: don't start singing it. Because you might not be able to.
I got a jar of dirt, and guess what's inside it?
Stop.
You cheated.
You can eat dirt. Speaking of dirt, most of us have eaten our fair share as children. Whether you enjoyed making mud pies from rain-soaked dirt, or after crashing your bike headfirst while attempting to jump a poorly built ramp. Eating dirt, pavement, and sometimes your own teeth. It's a rite of passage that most kids grow out of as they enter adulthood.
I love those moments. I like to wave at them as they pass by.
If dirt was made from powdered chocolate, we might all enjoy it a little more, despite its lack of nutritional value. That may have been the thought process of the special effects crew on the first Pirates of the Caribbean film, The Curse of the Black Pearl. Early in the film, when Will Turner, played by Orlando Bloom, first runs into Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow, they engage in a sword fight, pulling a page out of comic books, where heroes choose fisticuffs over discourse. Near the end of the fight, Jack grabs a bag of dirt and sprays Turner with it, covering his face and body with dirt. Instead of standard makeup, chocolate powder was used, giving Bloom the appearance of deliciously dirty face. Chocolate-covered Orlando Bloom sounds like a treat the marketing department missed out on.
I'm having a thought here.
What say we run up a flag of truce?
Geoffrey Rush is never right. During the DVD commentary for Curse of the Black Pearl, Geoffrey Rush mentioned that he asked director Gore Verbinski to frame his character on the left side of the screen as often as possible. His goal? To attract the viewer's eyes first before they wander and catch a glimpse of his more attractive co-stars. Rush, who hails from Australia, is one of the youngest actors to ever achieve the completely made-up and ridiculously named Triple Crown of acting.
You don't know what this is.
winning an Oscar, an Emmy, and a Tony. With a resume that impressive and this sage advice, maybe he's onto something. His belief that movie and TV audiences' eyes go left to right makes sense. It's how most people read as well. He hoped viewers would notice his non-traditionally handsome face first before they witnessed Keira Knightley and forgot who he was. You'll find his theory even extends to animals, as Captain Hector Barbossa's pet monkey, named after his least favorite pirate ever, Jack Sparrow, is typically placed on his left shoulder. His theory seems legit, but I'm sure more than one comment to this video will have someone saying that they never watch left to right. Hashtag theory busted.
You may kill me, but you may never insult me. Who am I?
The original ride is for kids. Walt Disney started building Disneyland in the early 1950s because he wanted a place where adults and kids could have fun. While we all know that one person who loves Disney a little too much as a grown-up, for the most part, people think of Disney theme parks as being for children. But much like Disney animated films can be a little dark, his attractions are viewed as pretty scary by some. The original Pirates of the Caribbean ride opened at Disneyland in 1967, just 3 months after the death of Mr. Disney. It was the last attraction he helped design. While the pirates seem playful, some kids didn't see it that way, including the director of the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean films, Gore Verbinski. On the DVD commentary, Verbinski reveals the ride frightened him as a kid. It also made him nervously laugh riding in a boat through the practical sound and wind effects combined with the plundering pirates. When he signed on to direct the first film, his goal was to bring that energy into the film. He wanted to modify the genre slightly, adding some humor as most pirate-themed films were action-heavy. Combining pirates with the supernatural and casting Depp gave him just the vibe he was going for. All of the props were returned. Movie memorabilia is a big business. Movie and television-related merchandise brings in over $50 billion with a B dollars a year. While most of that is lunch boxes and underoos and $1,000 180 points of articulation action figures, items taken from the sets of films contribute to the insanely large number. For example, a few years ago, the Aston Martin DB5 driven by Sean Connery as James Bond sold at an auction for over $4 billion. Set directors, along with teams of production assistants, do their best to make sure props stay put, but even though movies are recorded with a camera, they can't catch everything. It's not always extras or disgruntled crew taking the items. It can be the film's stars as well.
Can't expect more than that.
The Treasure Cave set, Jack's final confrontation with Barbossa, was apparently ripe for the picking. Both Depp and director Verbinski have stated that the film crew acted like the pirates they were pretending to be, stealing fake treasure, not caring that it's fool's gold. Incidentally, all 882 pieces of the cursed gold for the movie are missing. I'm not sure if I'd take something, even if it's fake, that was cursed.
Life is cruel.
Undead pirates and fish-faced monsters are fake. The job of a special effects crew is to keep the audience guessing the moment where reality becomes fiction. The best movies blur the lines between the two, so you're never sure when it's an actor or animation on screen. The second movie in the franchise, Dead Man's Chest, did this so well it took home an Oscar. In the movie, Jack Sparrow is searching for the heart of Davy Jones as a way to get out of his debt to the nefarious and now tentacle-faced legendary sea captain.
You have a debt to pay.
Jones, played by British actor Bill Nighy, and his crew are half creature, half man, thanks to a romantic tryst Jones had with a sea goddess, and a few bad choices following. While on set, the actors wore motion-capped suits combined with prosthetics. All of the actors that interact with the cursed crew of Davy Jones had to use every ounce of their imagination to act fearful in front of a bunch of dudes wearing gray spandex with white dots painted all over their faces. Despite how silly it seemed at the time, the end results were pretty amazing. Even though the CGI is over a decade old, it still holds up upon repeated viewings. Every actor was legally of age. When you're 17, life can be complicated. Not recognized as an adult and no longer a kid, you're stuck between growing up and desperately clinging on to childhood. While it can seem difficult, some young people do pretty amazing things before they turn 18. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart composed his first musical composition at the age of 6, and Bobby Fischer won the World Chess Championship at 14. If that didn't make you feel inspired enough, how about the fact that Keira Knightley filmed The Curse of the Black Pearl at only 17, almost being fired because of it. Knightley began acting at age 6, but didn't break out into the mainstream until she was 16 with the surprise smash hit Bend It Like Beckham. Despite her sudden success, director Gore Verbinski did not see her past performances, or notice her age on her resume. He just thought that she totally nailed the audition and would be perfect for the role of Elizabeth Swann. She was only 17 and very afraid that she would be fired because dealing with an underage star of the movie that's filming in exotic locations all over the world could be a huge hassle. Thankfully, everyone seemed okay with it, though her mom had to accompany her as she traversed the globe.
I really think that there is even the slightest see it.
Safety was always first. Despite your best efforts, accidents happen. The only thing we can control is what we can't control. Is a cool sounding quote I just made up. But it's true. No matter how well you prepare, sometimes life happens. It's what happens next that matters. Like, for example, say you plan to shoot a scene from a movie during the nighttime in a country that you aren't familiar with. You hire a local crew because the locals are going to know the islands and the waters and what lies beneath the waters better than anyone. However, you trust technology over history, and when they tell you not to shoot a scene near a specific island, you ignore them because your GPS knows more than the people who have always lived where you are. Well, sometimes life happens, and that happening leaves your underage female star and her mother shipwrecked for several hours. Whoops. That's exactly what happened to Knightley and her mom, as there was some confusion over the location of the underwater reefs. It led to a boat accident that left Kira and company stranded in the middle of the night. The remainder of the shots for that scene were filmed on a soundstage.
This is the day that you will always remember as the day that you...
Continuity catches everything. The script supervisor on a film set is usually tasked with catching continuity issues throughout filming. If a character holds an object in their left hand when filming, it's noted to ensure that that object is always in their left hand during subsequent scenes. Despite their best efforts, sometimes characters from the wrong era can manage to find themselves in the final cut of the film, as was the case during The Curse of the Black Pearl, or as it would have been called, Pirates vs. Cowboys. As the film ends, as Jack has finally gotten back his beloved ship, the Black Pearl, Sparrow regains his captain form, yelling on deck, "You scabrous dogs," at his crew. As the crew scatters, happy to be back under Sparrow's regime, a crew member can be seen over Depp's shoulder. He's rocking an early-aughts salt life look, complete with a loose white t-shirt, sunglasses, and cowboy hat. It's quite obvious this crew member belongs to the film crew and is not part of Sparrow's tribe. His outfit revealing a pirate's life is not for him. Fun fact, one of the final lines of the movie,
Now, bring me that horizon.
was made up by Depp the morning of the shoot.
I said no lies. I think he's telling the truth.
Movies are make-believe, so make sure that you watch them with one foot planted firmly in reality. Pulling the wool over the viewer's eyes is what makes a blockbuster bust box office records. Not many film franchises do it better than Pirates of the Caribbean. Did something we reveal blow your mind? Did we miss something? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to like and share before you go. Thanks for watching!